Good evening. Welcome to the APTN National News. I'm Beverly Andrews. The British Columbia government has asked the highest court in the province if it has the authority to regulate heavy oil transport by issuing permits. If it did, the NDP government could have the power to decide what and how much flows through the proposed Kinder Morgan pipeline expansion. APTN's Tina House has this story.
In January, the BC government announced it would use every tool in their toolbox to hinder the Kinder Morgan's Trans Mountain expansion project. Now that fight is being taken to the province's Court of Appeal.
Our approach to this reference is to ask the BC Court of Appeal to review proposed amendments to BC's Environmental Management Act. The amendments would give the province authority to place a permit with conditions before permitting hazardous substances into the province above a specified minimum level.
Alberta Premier Rachel Notley says she's cautiously optimistic in light of BC's latest chess move.
What we are suggesting is that we're not too worried. As long as they're prepared to abide by the rule of law, we're confident in what the rule of law already is, which is that they don't have that jurisdiction.
Meanwhile, in Vancouver, members of Protect the Inlet stormed the constituency office of Justice Minister Jody Wilson-Raybould. She wasn't there at the time, but 30 people carrying banners and signs wanted to send a message that they need her support to oppose the pipeline from being built.
We're scared, and we're telling her that this is not acceptable, that if she's going to represent the youth and the people, that she has to do it with our futures in mind, not the profit, but the future and the safety of the people. This pipeline is not safe, so we're here standing up.
The Union of BC Indian Chiefs, along with the Wilderness Committee and Greenpeace, are also preparing to stand up against Kinder Morgan. They announced they received some insider information that the approval of the pipeline was rigged and are asking for a full investigation.
It's a matter of record now that Kinder Morgan was lobbying the federal government heavily to approve the pipeline. What's wrong with this whole story is it now looks like the federal government had made up its mind, had directed its bureaucrats to start preparing for the pipeline before and during consultations with First Nations and with the general public. In plain language, that meant the fix was in.
There are gaps in our knowledge. These were identified in a 2015 report by the Royal Society of Canada. We need to fill those gaps in knowledge to inform regulations that will protect BC's interests, particularly on bitumen behavior in water and differing weather conditions and geographic conditions.
Tina House, APTN National News.